What's up, you guys? Vac Attack here, and today we're going to be doing a review of the Shark Rotator DuoClean powered lift away. And in this review, I will be explaining why I do not recommend this machine and why it is not a good machine. Now, let me make this clear. Just because I don't like this machine doesn't mean that, I'm gonna make fun of other people for having one. If they like sharks, if they like these things, that's whatever. But this video is mainly from my viewpoint and why this thing, in my opinion, is not worth the money. Especially the price point. These things went for about, I want to say in between $150, $200 to $150. Just about. So yeah, it's not cheap. And yeah, let's get started on the review. So as you know, this is a DuoClean. So what that essentially is this thing has a stupid soft roller on the bottom. I mean, yeah, it has a standard brush roll, but it also has this soft thing and then this stupid soft roller, which in theory is supposed to be good for hard floors, but all that ends up happening is that dirt will get caught up in this. It'll spread everywhere. It'll get clogged. It's just a mess, and it's not great. It's a dumb system. I don't know why it's like that. And speaking of the brush roll, even though it has a standard brush roll, this thing does not clean that well on carpets. I tested it earlier in my closet. This thing has no agitation. And the brush roll was spinning. I was looking at it. The power head works just fine. This thing has no agitation. It does not clean carpets that well. I mean, you could see there's a little bit of stuff in there, but not a lot of fine dust and stuff, so that's fun. But yeah, I really do not like this thing, and I will be selling it soon. And then at the top, you have your typical shark handle. This one has a suction release stupid thing. This was up here, and when I got this, I thought that it was clogged, so I ended up getting new filters for it, which I kind of regret now because I found out that it was just on a suction relief. If you put it down there, the suction's just fine. So now I'm mad because I spent money to get new filters for this thing when it didn't even need new filters. So that's fun. Removing this is pretty easy. You pull these two tabs. It comes right out. You can see the filters are in here. These filters are kind of dirty. So I am kind of glad I got new filters. But yeah. This is single cyclonic, by the way. I think I forgot to mention that. This thing is single cyclonic. So you're definitely going to have to worry about the filters a lot more. And then another thing I hate about this stupid thing. Look at how small the dirt area is. Yeah, you're telling me you have this whole bin and they can only make this much? Ridiculous. If it was a Bissell or something, if it was like cheap, that's one thing, but this is a Shark. This is an expensive machine. I do apologize if it sounds like I'm ranting, but I do not like this thing. It was the worst purchase I've ever made in my life. Thankfully, I got it for only $30, which is $30 too much. Well, $29.99 too much. But yeah. One thing about this machine that is nice, though, is the hose. It is kind of nice. You just push this and the one comes out. So you can do a little bit and then that comes out. You can do a little bit with this hose, but does not reach all that far. But although I will say this is not terrible. So that is nice. It does have very strong suction. That's another upside. So there are upsides to this machine, but not very many. But this clicks back into place when you're done. And then removing the hose is easy. You just push that button, it comes out. That way if you need to unclog it or anything. Working on this machine is kind of easy. I did mention this is a lift away. So essentially you just lift that off. Let me actually move the stupid cord out of the way. I don't know how long this cord is. I don't really care because, like I said, this is not a machine I particularly care about all that much. Oh, whoop. Should probably remove the handle. Didn't even think of that. Oh, it's kind of hard to do with one hand. But yeah, theoretically, this thing has a lift away feature, which is probably the only, like, good thing about this machine, other than, you know, how easy it is to kind of take apart somewhat. The lift away system, the lift away feature is the only thing that this thing's got going for it. Other than that, this thing is not that great. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm ranting. I just do not like this thing. I can't wait to get rid of it. If I can remember how to, this does come off somehow. I will say this, if you need to access the brush roller or anything, that is super easy. You just push these two buttons and this pops right out. So that is really nice, and then taking the brush roll out is super easy. So that is one thing that this machine, that is like another upside, is that it's very easy to access the brush roller and everything, but even then, it doesn't really change the fact that the machine is just not that great. Not that great. Anyways, when you're done, when you want to put it back, you just slide it in and it clicks into place. This one at least stays connected. I will credit where credit's due. This thing's not as horrible as the newest Sharks, like the NV20. No, not the NV. The 80V or whatever. But it's still not that great. This clicks back into place. And yeah. And then, yeah, like I mentioned, this clicks back into place. Another thing I hate about this machine, and I guess I am kind of nitpicky, but this stupid swivel neck. In theory, it's supposed to be great, right? No. This thing is top heavy, and a lot of times it likes to just swivel on its own, even if I'm just trying to push it forward. I hate it. It's annoying. Again, that could just be me being nitpicky, but I don't really care. So yeah. I've never really liked Sharks all that much. I will never love Sharks. I will never recommend a Shark to anybody, because why get a Shark for, you know, $100, $200, $300 plus when you can get a machine for cheaper or the same price that it's better? Like, for example, I did mention the lift-away system, right? You would think that Shark, you know, it's revolutionary, and Shark came out with that, right? Nope. They stole that from Bissell. In fact, this lift-off has the same exact feature. The same feature, except it's better. The hose comes with it, the cord comes with it, and everything. Yes, it's heavier, but it's the exact same thing. But this Bissell lift-off is better in every single way. It cleans carpets better. It runs better. It has well, the other one has a headlight too, but this one has a better headlight. This one's just overall a better machine. Yes, filtration's horrible, but that's every bagless Bissell from this era, so that's not really anything I can point out. Yes, this thing is heavy, but who really cares? Because it's not like heavy. But yeah, if you must get a vacuum with the with a lift away feature, get the Bissell lift off. You can find them all over the place on Marketplace, OfferUp, eBay, everywhere. And if you must get a lift off, get the Revolution one or the multi-cyclonic, because those ones weren't recalled. The original lift-off bagless and the lift-off bagged, they did have some recalls due to some connection issues, but they were still good machines nevertheless. So yeah, if you must get a vacuum with a lift-off or a lift-away feature, get the Bissell lift-off. And if you must get a Shark, if you absolutely must get a Shark, I can somewhat recommend the Navigator NV22L. Although it's still not a recommendation of mine. I still do not recommend getting a Shark. But there are a few upsides with this one, and this one is at least tolerable. Because, one, it's multi-cyclonic. So, what that means is the filters won't get as dirty as easily. So, yeah, that's nice. Two, this thing doesn't have rocker switch issues. Although this one doesn't have a rocker switch, but a lot of the newer Navigators have rocker switches that shoot sparks when they're brand new out of the box. Three, it doesn't have any DuoClean or whatever bull crap. It just has a standard brush roller, which, yes, this doesn't have very good agitation either, but at the very least, this one does a somewhat okay job at cleaning. Like, it will pick up a good amount of dust and everything. It's not great by any means, but it's at least somewhat tolerable. Another thing, yes, this one's a little top heavy, but you don't gotta worry about a stupid swivel neck. It's simple. It's straightforward. So yeah, if you absolutely must get a Shark, get one of these older Navigators, because at least these are somewhat tolerable. They clean okay, you know, they still have good suction. They don't have the lift away feature, but, you know, it's still a Shark. But still, I really don't recommend Sharks at all. In fact, I used that to vacuum my closet. And I guarantee you, if I run like one of my Bissells or something, it will pick up a lot of dust and stuff that the Shark didn't. The Rotator, of course. This one, it would still leave behind a lot of stuff, but let's run, you know what, let's run this one, because this is the most simple, technically, out of all my Bissells. It's an 8 amp and everything, and yeah. I guarantee you this thing will pick up a lot. And I know this is not supposed to be a Bissell video, but I'm just doing this to prove just how bad the cleaning performance on Sharks are. At least the DuoClean ones. The DuoClean ones are even worse. But even the ones with the standard brush rollers are bad. So, ugh. Let's see what the Navigator, or not the Navigator, let's see what the Rotator has left behind. Now let's see if this thing picked up anything. As you can see, there is some fine dust and there is some hair in there. Granted, it's not a whole lot, but yeah. I did kind of forget that this carpet is clean already, so it's kind of irrelevant, so I do apologize about that part, but you get the idea. Even then, the power force you saw had a little bit of fine dust and hair, even after vacuuming the closet very thoroughly with the shark. Okay, the rewind on this thing actually works this time. But yeah, that just kind of proves my point. You can hear this thing agitating too. I'll run the rotator and you'll just see how it just doesn't agitate at all. I'll run it because I know people are going to want to see it running. And again, I do apologize about the little Bissell closet test because it was kind of irrelevant because the carpet in there was already pretty much clean. But even then, like I said, there was dust in there and stuff, so. Alright. Let's run this stupid thing just to get this over with. It does have headlights, but so do my Bissells. Yeah, you can hear how little agitation that has. And I assume that's because of the soft roller. It is picking up, but the question is how much. Okay, so apparently if you flip this up, it makes the power head spin faster. Interesting. That's really weird. I don't know why it's designed like that, but to each their own, I guess. But you can actually hear it spinning now. It still doesn't have very much agitation at all, but it at least has a little bit now. I will admit, this thing is not very hard to use. It's not super heavy. It's not super top heavy. Was it still a machine I recommend? I don't know. We'll see after this test because I haven't tested it with the brush spinning at full. Because if you see I flip this to bottom, you can hear the brush will just kind of stop. Well, it slows down. But But you can see whenever I put it back up, it starts spinning faster. Which is very funky. And it's trying to eat the cord. That's another thing with this stupid thing. Granted, that one probably was my fault. Get that stupid cord out of the way. Test the suction on this thing. Okay, so there's the run through of the Rotator powered lift away. Yeah, something I did find interesting was apparently when you flip this up, the suction on the hose goes away, but the brush roll spins faster and actually kind of agitates a little bit. It's still not very good. Like, this thing has pretty much no agitation, but that is that's stupid. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know why they would do that. Yes, it is a suction relief, but I feel like they could have done it in a different way. Because why in the world would you want to have suction here but not have the brush roll spin like it's supposed to? It makes no sense. Unless there's something I'm missing. If there's something I'm missing, maybe I did something wrong, please do let me know. But yeah. As you heard, even with the brush roll spinning at the high speed, this thing does not have very much agitation. So yeah, that's fun. On the bright side, I will say this machine is kind of nice to use. It's a little easy to push. It's, you know, the swivel neck's not bad if you get used to it, but even then, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to swivel necks. I mean, my Dysons have swivel necks, but those systems I feel like are better because of the ball technology. I don't know. But yeah, that's the Shark Rotator powered lift away DuoClean whatever crap. Not a very good machine in my opinion. I would not recommend it at all. So yeah, I hate this machine. No, I'm sorry, but I really do. You know what? Let's run my Phantom Thunder. Let's run the Thunder. I want to see what this stupid thing left behind. This Thunder, excellent. I would recommend one of these every day if they still made them. Unfortunately, they don't make them anymore because Phantom went bankrupt. And then Euro Pro, which eventually became Shark, bought out the Phantom name for a while, and then that just kind of, I don't know what happened to that. But yeah, the Phantom Thunder is amazing. It's one of my favorite machines. But that's not what this is about. And yeah, I know this is supposed to be an in-depth review, but I just want to prove the carpet cleaning performance of the Shark is not that great. And we'll be running this on medium setting. Right off the bat, it's picking up stuff. Right off the bat, you can hear it. Yep, you can hear those crunches. All right, let's see what this thing picked up. And I guarantee you this thing was empty before I ran it. Yeah. Look at all that fine dust. Look at that. And that hair. Now, yes, this is a Phantom Thunder. These things are good clean. These are like the best cleaners out there. But even my Bissell's, even my Dyson DC07, which already isn't that great of a cleaner, would have cleaned better than the Shark, most likely. So, yeah. I do not recommend this thing. Whatever you do, don't buy it. If you do buy it, then obviously that's whatever. But from my personal experience, it's not worth the money. It's not worth the time. Because it's not doing its job. And this thing's a lot newer than the Thunder, too. Not sure exactly when it came out, but there's a sticker. Either way, I know this is probably made in either the 2010s. It was made somewhere in probably the 2010s, maybe. I know it's not the newest, at least I don't think it is, but it's definitely newer because this Phantom is from 1997. This is a 90s machine. It's a lot older, and this is a Phantom, which is a vacuum that most people beat up and throw away. Yet, slap a new belt on this, which this thing can use on Dirt Devil 4 and 5 belts. All I did was slap a new belt on it and clean it up a little bit. And this thing out-cleaned the Shark by a landslide. Even this thing. This is not my favorite machine either, but this thing will out-clean the Shark. by a landslide too. Sure, it's not my favorite, but yeah. Let's see. All of these bristles will also outclean that shark. These Dysons outclean the shark. Heck, even this shark, this NV22L, will outclean the Rotator, at least this Rotator. So, yeah. Why pay $200+ for a hunk of plastic that doesn't even do its job? This is exactly why I don't recommend these things. I hate this thing. I can't wait to get rid of it once I put new filters in it and clean it out. I can't wait to get it out of my collection because I am for sure not keeping this thing. The only reason I ever bought it in the first place was to make this video and to sell it for profit. Because these things, everybody likes shark for whatever reason. Every consumer at least. So, yeah. This thing's going bye-bye. This one I'm probably going to keep just because I got it from a collector and I don't feel like getting rid of it because this one I actually do somewhat tolerate using. So yeah, that's the end of my video. I'm sorry if it was like, it felt like a full-on rant, but I just feel like this machine, especially for the price, excuse me, listen to how creaky this thing is too. Yeah, you hear that? No. Unacceptable. This is a 2000s machine. Does it creak like that? I mean, the wheels are squeaky, but other than that, no. And the foot pedal is still good. And guess what? This thing has a headlight too. You can put an LED bulb in it. It has a 12 amp motor. Well, this one has a 9.5 amp motor. Motors don't really matter though, but this has a good motor. This has, you know, good suction. It has everything, well, not everything, but it can do what this can, but better, at least in terms of cleaning carpets. And this is a $40 Power Force. And then that Thunder, like I said, 1997. That's almost 30 years old. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.